Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the hidden reality of the top 0.0000001% in the US. We're going to see how extreme wealth doesn't just buy luxury, it actually builds a gilded cage. In America, the billionaire is basically seen as the apex predator of the capitalist jungle. We see the superyachts, the private jets, the sprawling mansions, and we just assume they've achieved ultimate freedom. But what if the summit of the American financial mountain isn't a paradise at all? Today, we're documenting the true psychological reality of being ultra-wealthy. To wrap our heads around the sheer scale we're talking about, let's consider a mathematical absurdity. The average U.S. household income is roughly $75,000 a year, right? Now, compare that to a billionaire's net worth of $50 billion. Our brains literally aren't wired to comprehend a gap that massive. It's like comparing a single cup of water to the entire Pacific Ocean.
So, this staggering reality leads us to a pretty profound question. Is the American dream actually a trap? I mean, think about it. Once you have absolutely everything, once you've totally conquered the financial world, do you just wake up one day and realize you've lost the one thing that actually matters? Control over your own life?
To find out, we're going to travel deeper and deeper into the billionaire's world through 4 concentric circles. We'll start with level 1, the supervised spouse, move to level 2, the overshadowed sibling, explore level 3, asymmetrical friendships, and finally hit level 4, the isolated core.
So let's jump right into level 1, the supervised spouse. Imagine marrying into this and moving into a $50 million modern penthouse. Sounds like an absolute dream, right? But you instantly realize you haven't really joined a family. You've joined an institution, and it's run by something called a family office. Now, this isn't a cozy home office with a laptop and a printer. Oh no, this is a massive corporate entity packed with accountants, lawyers, and security details that completely takes over your daily existence. When a billionaire walks into a room with these people, pleasantries begin. But make no mistake, they are the ones managing your life.
The crazy paradox here is that despite having effectively infinite money, getting handed a Centurion black card on day one, you are so heavily supervised by staff that your basic personal autonomy is just gone. You're wearing golden handcuffs. Every single purchase you make over $5,000, audited. Your daily movements, they require an advanced team to coordinate, because wherever you go, you might impact the local economy. You literally lose the power to spontaneously walk into a coffee shop and buy a cappuccino without a staff member tracking the whole thing. You're basically a billionaire on a corporate leash.
All right, going one layer deeper, we hit level 2, the overshadowed sibling.
This dynamic is wildly misunderstood. Picture this. You spend a grueling decade building a highly successful fashion company in the US from scratch. You check your accounts and, wow, you're worth $20 million. In any normal universe, you've completely made it. You are a massive success. But at your family dinners, you're kind of seen as the unsuccessful one.
It's an agonizing reality. You're sitting in a mahogany boardroom and your billionaire brother casually offers to buy your life's work for double its valuation. He does this like he's just picking up the tab for lunch. Well, here's the trap. If you accept the offer, you're basically admitting you couldn't reach the absolute top without his help. But if you refuse, you are actively choosing your own pride over generational financial security. It's a lose-lose psychological nightmare.
And the toll this takes is constant. Every time the press covers your fashion line, the headline is always, "Sister of tech mogul launches new line," totally dismissing your 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears. And this status difference bleeds into everyday life, right down to the elite prep school drop-off line. You pull up in your luxury family Tesla, which is an amazing car, but you have to sit there and watch your brother's kids literally drop onto the football field in a private helicopter. It is a daily, visceral reminder of exactly where you stand in the hierarchy.
Getting even closer to the center now, we arrive at level 3, asymmetrical friendships. Imagine you're the old college roommate. You were his best man way back before he was worth $40 billion. Your friendship is totally genuine. But over time, it becomes profoundly asymmetrical. He pays for literally every luxury. Private island vacations, VIP boxes at the Super Bowl, you name it. To him, the money is completely meaningless. But to you, it creates this really complex emotional cocktail. You feel this quiet, festering resentment right alongside your gratitude, simply because there is no way you can ever reciprocate the gesture. And if you try to do business together, it gets so much worse. The institutional bureaucracy around him is so thick that if you have a killer idea, maybe a promising restaurant chain, you can't just shoot him a text. Nope. You have to jump through absurd corporate hoops.
You get routed directly to his assistant. You have to schedule a formal pitch meeting in a boardroom that literally has his last name cast in bronze on the wall. You are treated exactly like a stranger cold calling his firm.
So you find yourself at his ultra-exclusive New Year's Eve party in Aspen, watching him discuss global strategy with his real inner circle. And the bitter truth sets in. As this quote perfectly nails it, you are close enough to see the levers of power, but not important enough to touch them.
Finally, we breach the very center of the fortress. Level 4, the isolated core.
This is the 68-year-old billionaire themselves, the person who built the empire from the ground up. Picture him in this massive, dark mahogany study. The city lights are just a blur outside the window. He just got off a phone call advising the President of the United States. And then, click, he hangs up. The business of the day abruptly stops, and he's left standing in this huge room, entirely alone. It is a heavy, crushing isolation that all the money on earth cannot fix. The burden at this ultimate core level is just immense. You aren't really a person anymore. You're a global institution. Think about it. A single off-the-cuff opinion from you can crash or rally global stock markets. Your personal philanthropy dictates health outcomes for millions. Meanwhile, your highly capable children are trapped living in your shadow. You wield literally world-altering power, yet you rarely, if ever, get to have a normal, genuine human conversation that isn't somehow tied to your legacy, your family's obligations, or your carefully curated public image.
And so, late at night, staring out over the empire you've built, this haunting question kind of creeps in. What if you had just stayed small? What if you had kept your ambitions modest and your family close? But the ultimate tragedy of the core is that this choice vanished decades ago. You are no longer just a person, you are a legacy.
All right, let's zoom back out for a second to synthesize what we've unpacked in this explainer about the myth of the American dream and the true price of ordinary freedom. When we look at extreme wealth, we're basically trained to only see the illusion, right? We see the winning, the endless luxury, the ultimate independence. But the hidden reality, as we've just seen, is more like a set of golden handcuffs. It's relentless, crushing pressure, it's the complete suffocation of your privacy, and it's a tragic isolation from genuine human connection. Extreme wealth doesn't actually buy freedom. It destroys your freedom to just be ordinary. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on today. Knowing what you know now about the reality of this gilded cage, would you actually trade your normal life for $1 billion if it meant completely sacrificing your own autonomy?